Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch Harlan, and welcome to the Truth Talks podcast. We are in studio today with a young lady that I've been wanting to get on for a long time, and for multiple reasons. I didn't know when the episode would end up hitting the way I wanted it to hit, and here we are. I'm going to give you a little bit of a background. We just did a show with Garrett Gunderson, financial guru, multimillionaire, maybe even closing in on $1 billion. I don't know. He's got a lot of money. We'll put it that way. And one of the things that's been interesting is we're changing the concept and the theory on how we make money, how life changes based on what our income is or what we desire to live like. I want to introduce you all to Abby McMaster. Abby, how are you?
Hi, I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good. That probably doesn't hurt that you look like a supermodel. That probably helps. Okay, we're going to get into some stuff that's going to make you uncomfortable.
Hey, I'm good.
It's part of the game though, right?
I love it.
Got to look the part to show up.
Hey, you know what? You do.
You do. And I want to talk about that. There's a whole lot of things I want to talk about. When we started a long time ago, I had seen you, I had knew all about it, but really what I'd heard was Abby McMaster. I really didn't know what you did.
Yeah.
But everybody seemed to know you. And so then knowing me, right? I'm like, well, who the hell's Abby McMaster? What is she doing? Right? And it was I don't remember who you were with then. It was early part of cheer. Both of us have daughters in cheer, which you better make a lot of money if your daughter's in cheer. Mm-hmm. And but I started to get to know a little bit about you, and off the beginning, which we've talked about before, I grew up in a different era. I grew up in the time when it was like you go to school, you get a degree, you go make the money, whatever. And little did I know that entire pathway, somebody was always going to dictate how much I can make, pretty much for the most part. And so the reason that I want to have you on now is this is new, may not be so new, but it's a new concept. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to find a flaw in it and I can't. So tell me what you do. Tell our audience what you do. And then we're going to really get into why this is such a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm in the network marketing industry. So, think direct sales, any of that, connotation, people sometimes kind of cringe when they hear that. So either they just heard me say that and they're like, oh my Lord, one of those things, or they're like kind of intrigued because they've heard of it before, right? And so I got introduced into the industry in 2012. Never thought I would do it. I always heard about those things. And I was kind of like, not for me. Nope, no thank you. But I found myself in a place where I needed extra income, and I had 2 young kids, and my husband traveled all the time. And so we were at a point of desperation. And so I thought, you know what? Hey, I'm going to see what one of these things is. If I can make $500 a month, that helps our family. I like products. I like to help people. I'm friendly. I'm outgoing. I can help them. And before you knew it, I started creating extra income, and I started seeing a side of an opportunity that I think had, in a lot of people's minds, a bad rap, and realized that it had so much good to it, and that it was just about how people were actually working the business that maybe gave a bad rap versus the actual industry. So I help and mentor thousands of people, using products, building teams. I've done it for 13 years now. Have made significantly over multi-millions in it. And it's been something that's changed our family's life. So. And
what did you, when somebody brought that up to you at first, you were just open out of desperation?
I was, yeah. Had they told me a year ago about it, I would have said no. But we were at a point financially at that place where I was like, I don't have another option. So let's give it a go.
Let's go a little bit into that story. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit, because, people see you now, right? Yeah. Nobody sees a struggle. What I like to do in True Talks is I love the struggle.
I love the
right?
struggle.
If you don't have a struggle, I don't think you can be successful.
I completely agree with you. And if you're not vulnerable enough to share the struggle, it's going to be hard to be successful.
Share the struggle.
Yep.
Share it. Let's hear it.
Okay. What part? All of it?
Well, most of it. All the goods. Dump the goods.
Yeah. We, I would say it started in about 2008. My family, we had moved to San Diego. My husband had gotten a great job in medical sales. So I had been in recruiting and sales prior to that, but he was in a place of making enough finances that we were good to go. Moved to San Diego a year and a half into that job. It was in 2008, so an awesome time to lose a job. And they had a 400 person layoff. And so we went 9 months in San Diego, $4,000 house payment, and no job. And so that's what kind of put us in that position of struggling. Now, here's what's funny is that we were always a family that people kind of looked up to. We were young kids, but we were doing good at that time. So I was terrified to tell anybody that we were actually in a place of desperation. So I didn't tell anyone, and my parents didn't know, and no one knew. And so I lived with that mask on all the time, oh no, it's great. And on the inside, I was totally crumbling and crying. So it was finally when I found the industry that I just ripped the Band-Aid off. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done going to the grocery store and having the debit card decline. I'm done lying to people saying, we can't go to dinner for this reason, or not taking vacations. Like, the truth of the matter was we had no money. Yeah. So like, it wasn't like, oh, something's wrong with the debit card. No, the debit card's fine. Your bank account's not fine. So when you get to that place, you finally just get to a place where you're like, I don't care what you think about it. Like, I don't care, because we need to get in a different position.
So are you sure you don't care? Or was it now that you have money and you're doing well, do you see the opportunity for people that were in that same situation?
Definitely. I think I will truly say, for me, when I was in the place where I'm at the grocery store and my debit card's declining and my daughter's holding popsicles that I can't pay for, you genuinely don't care at that point. Like, that is a place where, like, as a mom, I never wanted to be, you know? And so at that point I was like, if I'm annoying you, I don't care. Like, I actually don't. Prior to that, I probably did a little bit. But, you know, I love helping people now who, I'm not saying everyone needs to be in a desperate place, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs, you know, very successful people who come to me and they want an opportunity.
You know, this is my show, and I actually want to ask that question.
Oh, sorry. I won't say that.
No, I'm going to hit it right now while you're on it.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. You got a person, you know, listen, there's a lot of people make $100,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're still struggling.
Yes.
Right in this day. Back then it was desperation. But now that you've seen, especially the company you're working with now, let's give them a shout out. It's Make Wellness, right?
Yep,
They're
Make Wellness.
fantastic.
Yes, they
fantastic. All the good peptides, all the good stuff. We'll let you plug them later. Now this is something though that's like, well, wait a minute. Are you fulfilled at what you're doing at 100,000, or you can make 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, whatever? Now I am going to challenge you a tad.
Okay.
Okay.
I love this.
So Abby McMaster is Abby McMaster.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of them. What can the average person that's not Abby McMaster's make? Is it still something that they can go on and make 6 digits, 7 digits?
100%. Absolutely. I 100% believe you can. You know, I think that you have to be willing to put yourself out there and do things that make you super uncomfortable. You know, it doesn't just, you don't just sign up and suddenly it just happens. You know, it's been years of grind every single day. And I will not lie about that to anyone. You know, it hasn't just been like you sign up and poof, you're making great money. But if you're hungry, you can absolutely do it. But you have to be willing to, like I said, get outside your comfort zone and do things that maybe you never thought you could do. You know, my entire life, I was kind of that person that people would be like, well, Abby doesn't get great grades, but it's okay. It's Abby. She'll do fine in life. You know, so I wasn't the smartest. I didn't have a business degree. It took me 10 years to graduate college. That's a whole nother story. That's a funny one. But the truth of it was, I wasn't this like naturally, I wasn't that person in high school anyone would have said would have been like super successful. I was going to be the wife and the mom, is what people thought I would be, which I am still, but I had so much inside of me. And so I think any person always has it inside of them. They just have lies that they've been believing their entire life that limit them to ever getting to their full potential.
Are you fearless now talking to people?
No, I'm not. No, sometimes I get uncomfortable. It's funny. Yeah. It's actually interesting to me. But I think that's challenging. Like, I actually like that I sometimes still get nervous.
Well, you're going to have to give me an example, because I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have pictured that.
Yeah. I mean, I love talking to people, but you know what? Here's totally truth. If I'm sitting at a table with people and they're like, Abby, what do you do? That's when I get nervous. Isn't that weird? I know. And I always like break through it. But because throughout the entire journey of me building this and having the confidence, I've also never wanted to be known as that annoying direct sales girl, right? And so I've never, because we've all seen that person, right, where you can't even like stand in the grocery store line without them trying to like recruit you to, you know, to put makeup on your face or something. Right. And I never want to be that person. So I always, in that environment, I get nervous because I don't want to come across as that girl. So I've really tried to like be able to present it in a way where I'm like, no, that's not what I'm doing. I'm genuinely a person who runs an incredible business, and I'm going to present it to you like I would anything else.
Yeah, but that's interesting.
Yeah,
and I love the honesty, because you know, there's, you know, my daughter's going to college, and I honestly I don't see a value in it. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't see a value in it, and so we're trying to change the concept of what people see. You know, Garrett, there's so much money to be made in the open market.
Yes.
And the thing that I like about this is it hasn't, you built a massive network.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was your massive network that's allowed you to continue success. And I want to talk about that,
mm-hmm.
because sometimes these businesses don't go over well,
yep.
but your network always stays.
Absolutely.
It's one of the biggest things I talk about all the time is network. How did you build such a big network?
I will say one of my top qualities is woo. Winning others over is my number one. But I use it in a good way, right? I genuinely care about people. And I genuinely love people, whether they're like running with my business or they're just doing a little bit, or if they quit. And that's one thing in this industry. One reason I think it gets a bad rap is there's a lot of selfish, manipulative leadership that happens. And people probably won't like that I said that, but it's the truth. And it's what's in it for them every time. And I really pride myself on it's about people. And I can be there to help them, and I can be there to support them and mentor them, but it's up to them if they do it. And if they choose not to do it, that's their decision in their life, not mine. And that doesn't justify me not loving them. So I think that's why I've built the network I have, is because there's a trust factor there. People know I'm doing it because I genuinely care.
Somebody's sitting there watching us now, though, and they're saying, well, what is it that I would do that you would say would make someone successful? Like I told you, with such a big network, you need to be doing it. You need to be teaching this stuff, right? Yeah. Like, because people could probably learn how to be great at it by knowing some of these things. But why do so many people not follow through? Because
they hear the word no, and it terrifies them. And that word no just crumbles them. They go into it with this expectation. So they do a reach out. Somebody starts on product. Somebody starts a business, and they either end up saying no to it or quitting. And that person, because they have an expectation for what they wanted their specific outcome to be, when that's not the reality, it crumbles them. It does. And I go into every single conversation that I have with zero expectation of an outcome. I don't care if you say no. I don't care if you say yes. I don't care. And that's genuinely, I do not care, because I'm not going into it expecting any outcome, because it's not my job to judge that.
Yeah. So here's the ultimate test of, are you loving what you do? What do you tell your kids?
About what? Which part?
Do you have them in the business?
My son is. Yes. It's funny. My kids have been a part of, the business since they were 3 and 5 years old. That's all they know. I mean, when they were 3 and 5, they were going to like people's houses with me. They were like every Thursday night. We had people at our house doing events. That's all they know. And so my son, he's 18. And so he's got a little team going, makes a couple $100s a month. And I said, when you're ready to run with it, I said, why would you not want to build this during college, especially playing baseball, and be able to leave there making 6 figures a year with a business at your fingertips? My daughter, same thing. She's like itching to be 18 because she wants to be able to start this. So they've seen the power of entrepreneurship, and they've seen what it can do for families. And they were old enough to see when we had no money, and they also recognize what it's like when you do have money. And unfortunately for them, they've seen us have money, not have money, and have money again. And so it's, as much as that's hard lessons sometimes, it's the best lessons for kids.
Don't you believe, too, that when your kids see the drive and they see the not worrying about hearing no, how it just molds them into just better humans?
It's interesting you say that. My daughter, I always joke and say, when I grow up, I want to be Maddie, because she's just genuinely talking about like somebody who, she loves people. She is a wooer just like me, but if you don't like her, she doesn't care. Yeah. And it's not because she's like mean, but I think it's because she's seen the grit that I've had for so many years, and she grew up with that mom of just like having that grit, and I think it was instilled in her. And I love that, because she does have confidence, and she's like, oh, well, it's okay, and I really do think it's from what she's watched.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was so interesting because I'm watching, we brought on some massive heavy hitter business people, and I'm friends with some billionaire people, right? And this company, tell me what the company did. Was it last week it was $10 million or in a day or something crazy?
Yeah, so in the month of June, we did $10 million. We actually just officially launched in March, which is completely crazy. We did a pre-launch in November, kind of like put things out there, try to get, obviously new company. There's always going to be hiccups. So go through that journey. March, we officially launched. June, did $10 million in 1 month. They actually said 0.04% of businesses in their first entire year ever do 10 million. And we did it in 1 month.
So having said that, somebody's out there watching, you always hear, you hear of the Amways and the so on and so forth. If you don't get in the beginning, you're screwed. What's different about it now?
I used to always say, oh, that's not true. And I don't believe it's true, because my first company I got in and got to the top 1% there, I got in 20 years in, right? So I do genuinely believe you can build somewhere even when it's an established company. Second company grew that very large as well. That was like a 14-year-old company. This one, I believe that momentum's where it's made, right? Like you see so many successful people in companies who have been there for years and years, and it is because they got in earlier. And not to say that you can't build something later on, but there is power behind getting in when it's getting launched and when it's starting. And with this, I mean, these products, this company, the executive team, I mean, they are just the top, the best of the best. So this is like nothing else I've ever been a part of. This will be a $1 billion company, multi-billion.
So if somebody wants to get in, how do they get a hold of you? What do they do?
Yeah, so they can follow me on Instagram. That's really the best way. It's at kindly_Abby. And then obviously just message me. You know, I'm somebody who I don't have bots running my stuff. You know, I actually talk with you. I'll hop on a Zoom. I'll do whatever. I'm very much about connection with people. And I think in this day and age, there's so much AI happening and bots happening and all of that we're losing that connection piece. And so I don't care where the world goes. I will always connect with people because I think that's a really scary place if we lose that piece of things.
Well, I think it's your success.
Yeah.
It's where all your success came from, right? Building that network.
Yep.
Talk about it all the time.
Yep.
So where do you go from here, though? Where's the ultimate limit for you?
Yeah. So my goal, obviously, I'm going to make $1 million a year. I didn't say I want to make $1 million. I said I'm going to because I am going to. And that's my next goal. My next goal is obviously to have, I want to have a multi. I mean, I already have a multi-million-dollar business on my hands, but I want to break records. I want to speak on stages. I've considered, writing books or doing different things like that because I really feel like there's a piece of this industry that's missing, and it's about doing it truly the right way. And that's really what I want to teach people is how do you build this the right way and how do you do it the right way? Because I think that if we don't keep that in the forefront of things, the industry is going to get taken over by so many things.
It's so fascinating, and again, I'm so appreciative you came on here because I think it's so inspiring. There's so many people willing to settle for less.
Yeah.
And if you start a program, which I'm telling you need to start a program, and help people through that process. I mean, this is something that can literally change an entire family's life. It did yours.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Yep.
So give me, kind of as we wrap up a little bit, I want to know a couple things about, first of all, your speaking engagements, all the things that you do. Is that comfortable for you? Is it natural for you, or do you have to work on it?
No, I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's easy.
Yeah. I mean, I bullet point. If I was going to go speak I spoke on a stage in front of 25,000 people, and the night before I was writing down my 5 bullet points. But that's just, and that's, okay, that is not just for everybody. That's not just for everybody. But I genuinely do better when I just know my next flow versus being so prepared for it. I love speaking is one of my very favorite things to do.
So again, we get back to that person who may have a fear of that, may have anxiety towards it. Can they still be successful?
Absolutely. Training on stages, speaking on stages, that's not a requirement to have success. In fact, I know a lot of people who are very successful, some even more than I, and they don't enjoy that. That is not their thing. For me, it fires me up. It gets me so excited. Do I get a little nervous? Sometimes, but I always remind myself going out there, if I'm nervous, I'm speaking to me and I'm being selfish. If I speak to the person in the audience who I'm just trying to help that one person, then it's not about me.
Yeah. Motivational. Tell us anything else that you think would be appropriate for this conversation, because I am mesmerized. I didn't want to embarrass you or give a number, but you make a lot of money.
Yes.
It's a lot of money.
Yes.
And it's a lot more money than some people that are doing their professional careers or professional jobs.
Oh, yes.
Are you telling people it's worth the risk?
100%. It's not, I mean, I can't even imagine not taking the risk. If anything in life that you do that can create a huge potential for you, it's going to be scary. The only thing I guess that would not be scary would be winning the lottery, and the likelihood of that is very unlikely, and so I guess I would just say, ask yourself right now, genuinely, if you are sitting in this same exact spot in the next year, in the next 5 years, are you happy? Does that make you happy? Are you satisfied? Or are you oh my gosh, I can't imagine? And if you have any inkling of I can't imagine, then it's time to make a change.
Give me how much time you put in.
Yeah, so I mean, for myself, it's a little bit different. I would consider myself quote unquote full time because obviously this is what I do. But again, let's keep in mind I'm a mom, right? And so my kids are always first, even though they're 16 and 18. I feel like it's busier now than ever. So that's my number one thing. So I just really work through my day when I can. I work at night a lot. I'll get up a little bit earlier in the morning. So, I mean, it's hard to give a number because I feel like if I'm not being a mom or a wife, I'm doing my business because it's what I love.
Right.
So it doesn't feel like work to me. It's just what my passion is.
That's a great way of saying it. Is it 40 hours, 80 hours?
I have no idea.
You don't have any
I
idea?
have no clue.
Which is a great thing. I'm going to end it with this, though. What if you're a man?
Yeah, definitely.
Do men do well in this industry?
Very much so. Very much so. Men do very well. In fact, I feel like it's getting more and more, like more men are becoming a part of it.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's a lot more men because I think they're starting to realize it's not about the wife, who stay at home with the kids having a party at night. Those days are done. This is genuinely a way for a man to bring in additional income because much like you said before, unfortunately, I say, $100,000 a year, which used to be like, oh, they make six figures, right? You can't survive on that. In Colorado where we live, you cannot survive on that. And, but you're also in a place where a lot of corporate companies are not paying at where the world is at currently. And so for a man to be able to come in and do this and promote products or a business or an opportunity and bring in extra income, yeah, men are doing it because they see the opportunity.
And just FYI, in your company, there are quite a few celebrities.
There are a lot of them are on my team.
Yeah,
it's pretty fun.
I know. Which, by the way, we're going to talk about one when we get off camera here.
Okay.
But no, I thank you for coming in. You've always impressed me. What I really wanted out of this, though, is that you do believe that people can do it.
100%.
At times, the old stuff, and I think we want to dispel that myth, right? It's not like the old way, where it's the top get in, and after that, you're just kind of host. Just a little bit of effort, a little bit of moxie, just a little chip on your shoulder.
Yep. Just a hunger. If you have a hunger at all, if you're coachable, if you're willing to be consistent with it, and if you're willing to have a little bit of thick skin, which is going to grow thicker and thicker, to be okay hearing the word no. That word is so powerful for people. It literally can break their lives.
Yeah.
Because they let that word break their life. So if you can do those things, I mean, for me personally, I love to mentor people. I do mentor Zooms all the time. So it's not something where somebody just signs up and it's like, good luck to you. There are people like that. I will never be that person.
Yeah, that is awesome. Abby McMaster, you guys. Abby McMaster, and she is open and willing. It's one of the greatest families that I know, especially here in our area. She is open to help you. She will do everything she can to make you successful. Thank you for coming on our show.
Mitch, thank you for having me. You're the best.
Awesome.